Okay, so I really don't know which is like the real North Florida for this. Oh, anyway, yeah, new haircut, semi-new rules. Anyway, hey everybody, this is Retrokid, Retrokid Reviews, doing my long overdue review of Scream 6 because yeah, I forgot to see this in theaters and thank God it was out on streaming a month and a half later. Sorry in advance for that still. Anyway, another reason why it's another me version of well, me and Jason, because kind of won a Tumblr poll thanks to my audience to do a that Ruby slash Justice League crossover that came out earlier this year. So yeah, I already got that on VOD. I actually saw that last night, and yes, that is going to be a real Red Hood review with the entire Bat family. So get ready for that later next week if I have time to squeeze that and Guardians Volume 3. Yeah, this month and year is picking up steam when it comes to new reviews. Anyway, speaking of reviews I forgot to do, Scream 6. My initial thoughts, it's actually stronger than it usually is. That's not saying much. It's definitely coming off the heels of the previous movie that came out last year. Go to my review of that and probably the playlist of the Scream series. And I guess I have to do one final mention to Dr. Jordan Breen. His every freaking explanation series moved from crack to his own personal channel over last year. So long story short, congratulations on him being a dad of 3 for starters. And yeah, go to his full series overview of that as well, for those who haven't seen most of the movies leading up to this. So that being said, what do I think this time around now being centered here in New York? Surprisingly accurate. Mostly on the NYU side of things. I won't give away all the kills. I know it's been a month, but there are still people who haven't seen it, like myself. So my apologies in advance. However, the cold opening definitely flipped a big script right out of the gate. I'm gonna be honest with you on that one. Always had like a copycat over copycat kind of vibe. And then going into the actual incident itself, leading up to Jenna Ortega and hang on a sec. Yeah, Melissa Barrera's Sarah and Tara back here again with their core 4 friends. Long story short, the Meeks. Long story short, Chad and Mindy. I did not know Chad. I think this was something I forgot in the first review for this new franchise era of Scream. Yeah, Mason here is actually Cuba Gooding's kid, and may or may not be a really pumped up Demi fan. So I guess if I got any of the interviews, I'll check that out just to see how hyped he was getting interviewed by them. Oh, and in advance, happy I guess honeymoon to James's niece and Chelsea. Yeah, you guys earned it after 2 years of waiting for this over COVID and stuff like that, and he had to go through some personal shit. Check out the channel for that, so he explained it all there too. And yeah, more Bixby with Zoran, yay! But hey, what are you gonna do? So, with all that said, casting and other menace with other YouTube channels aside, how is this compared to, say, I don't know, being one up of another like sequel? As you can already tell, the plot is basically university focused here in New York, very Jason Takes Manhattan kind of vibes, yeah. But it's getting a little more homage to, I want to say Scream 2, which is kind of feeling like that as well. Set in a university, everybody knows what's going on. Trash talking, or more importantly, internet version of conspiracy theory that Sam probably did the whole thing last time. Yeah, it turns out that was the killer's plan to basically have that pipe through that kind of conspiracy theory, because I am going to give away the killers pretty soon later on, so I'll let you know in advance. And another thing I got to give away right now, you get some Skeet Ulrich again. Yeah. So I think the reason why you had the Force Ghost thing with him last movie, yes, that was a thing for those who didn't see 2022 Scream. Long story short, yeah, she was basically getting psychotic and stuff like that. And in Sam's therapist's case, he just wanted to know the whole thing. So she basically just gave away the whole plot of what the last movie was, and her therapist looked at her like, yeah, no, I'm out of here, bye. Kind of bit him in the ass. Most of the New York-centric style of this movie is very nice, very real world-ish, like 10 years ago kind of lighting, but it's not bad lighting nowadays if it's a throwback, if anything. Also, I gotta give it to Jasmine Xavier Brown, if I got her name right, who's Mindy on the Meek side of things. She is definitely the legacy version of Randy through and through. She is very franchise savvy than I thought she was last time. Definitely is very much aware, like, yeah, at this point they're just re-upping and doing anything they can to keep the franchise going and one-upping anything they usually used to do. So that's how it was rules-wise. As for the execution for most of the kills, obviously what you saw in the trailers with the bodega shootout kind of thing, very telling, I guess, what you get with the killers this time around. Also, the oldest answer in the book is Kirby still alive. Yes, and she's a federal agent, so she got a lot more screen time than I thought she could on her end. So that was awesome to see. So that all being said, Jenna Ortega, where the hell is she, and is she more integral in this plot this time around after the wealth of success she got last year with this, Wednesday, and X, and other horror movies she was in? Yeah, she got a lot more screen time. Like, yeah, Paramount basically realized, oh, we have the new Nev here. All right, we're gonna use this every chance we can, and you could definitely tell in her screen time's in. Setting in New York during the holiday season, not really holiday season, Halloween time, it's a good coverage, a good little more like cover story for most of the killers, good red herrings all around. I'm gonna keep this short mainly because I just came back from work and I trudged a lot of New York rain, which I wish that was the most realistic thing other than Godzilla. Long story short, my old retro reviews there. It's really cool. It had a really good ladder sequence that kind of reminded me of Nerve. If anybody remembers that YMS review, go to that. It kind of had that kind of vibe. And most of everything was not as reactive as you kind of thought. It's not, okay, here, we're going through this again, let's bug out, let's do this. No, there's always good reasons to stay, keep it singular and tight. Big spoiler I'm going to be saying right now because I don't think it's full commitment, but I said it probably is. Gail's gone. By the end of this movie, you could definitely tell that Courtney Cox knew this was probably going to be her final scene, just like Dewey's was last time around on her ex-husband's case. And she basically did the best what she could with the material, and by that I mean finally get to be executive producer of this franchise. I don't think that was ever a thing. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments down below on that. Big elephant in the room. Will there be a 7th film? Maybe, maybe not. Radio silence have been, hearsay, maybe so on it, but if it's not gonna be anytime soon, it kind of makes sense. This is 1 year after the previous movie that was like heavily delayed due to COVID. It makes sense to take a break. If anything, I'm okay if Radio Silence does that. Also, Samara Weaving was there for a cameo, and yeah, I already gave away that she was one of the first 2 kills, so yeah. Anyway, my overall thoughts and rating a review, 10 out of 10. If you're a horror fan, if you're a fan of the Scream franchise, this definitely re-ups what you are aware. It does basically the same average kind of stuff, but it is upping itself, again, being meta, knowing that it is a franchise now at this point that has to re-up itself, and it does pretty effectively. Switching locations to New York, they definitely explore the space, as old producers would normally say, and ultimately, should you see it on streaming, yeah, please go ahead, watch it on Paramount Plus, or maybe later down the road because on Netflix or whatever. If it's still in theaters, please do so, because I think it made more money than I think the last movie, which is saying a lot for this franchise as a whole, going now 25 plus years in. The Neve Campbell situation in the room, I think she'll come back on Screen 7 if there's a good script and obviously more, I guess, lucrative budget there with it, hopefully speaking, but as for Melissa and Jenna Ortega's cases for their Carpenter sisters, they are definitely the mains of this franchise going forward. The core 4 are very strong, and both kind of, sort of, I think on the twins' end, kind of have the, I guess, tradition of, like, getting near killed a lot, because, yeah, Minnie goes through a lot. The subway sequence you also saw in the trailer, very, way more scarier, way more, less jump scary than you probably thought it would be in the trailers. It's very intimate, and speaking as a New Yorker who takes the commute almost all the time here, there were moments where guys were that kind of sketchy, so kudos to them for getting that kind of realism there, so I'll give it that, at least for this production's end. So, the killers. Let's get to that before I get to my end thoughts, I guess. Yeah, it's Richie's family. Long story short, if this is definitely feeling like Scream 2, it's mostly like that too. And their time around is the same thing like in Scream 2. Revenge. They just want revenge through and through. They just was happy that he was a fan of a franchise and wanted to be an aspiring filmmaker. Also, there really wasn't any, like, Jack Wade cameos of him, like, doing some, like, legacy kind of, like, footage to, like, as a backup thing like Randy did back in Scream 3. I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but when they were doing the memorabilia at the end of the movie that they burned down, long story short, I don't know, the home movies they were scheduling making. I don't know if Jack Wade came back for that or used any of his old YouTube channel footage. Oh, by the way, yeah, he actually was a YouTuber before he was an actor. If I can find the old channel down below if you want to take a look, if any of that footage is lined up. Anyway, ultimately, it's another good entry to the Scream series. It's got a lot of Scream 2 vibes because this was shot right after the last one, and if it tracks like the old movies, they probably want to break, and if they want to go again, they need a better script and better timing for it. It's Scream. They can take their time. I'm okay with it regardless. So with that all being said, what are your thoughts on Scream 6? And if you're a New Yorker that actually got all the coolness, that love the vibe of it, please let me know in the comments down below as well. And with that all being said, I guess final shot edit here to the end cards for my upcoming. Yes, I am doing a Ruby X Justice League. I forgot the whole title, part 1. Yeah, how's it in 2 parts? Oh, we'll figure it out when I do the Bat Family review, hopefully later this week, or any of my previous content here. Shorts playlist here because I'm probably going to catch up on Critical Role shorts for next Thursday's episodes. With that being said, end cards here. Also, sure to sub the channel, notification bell down below if you want to see more of my thoughts of horror franchise in general. It's not Halloween yet, but I will pick up with the franchise. I'm still looking at it. It's probably still Resident Evil, if anything else. And with that all being said, I'm Retrokid, Retrokid Reviews, and so no new decade, no rules, and no killers other than, like, family this time around. So is it turning into the Fast and Furious franchise or not? I don't know. What's going on here? Anyway, for real, it's a good movie. Check it out when you can.